Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going on an incredible journey deep, deep beneath the earth. It's a story about darkness, yeah, but also about discovery and finding hope in the most unexpected of places.
So, imagine this. How do you find your way when you're completely lost in a world that has no sun, no stars, nothing to guide you? That was the big problem facing the Gnoll's Bane company. After a pretty harrowing run-in with a basilisk, they were now heading even deeper into this mountain, putting all their trust in a new guide.
Their only guidepost with this underground river, and its current was just pulling them deeper and deeper into the unknown. For a group that had already seen so much, this was a whole new kind of test, a journey through absolute, unending darkness. For hours, there was nothing, just oppressive blackness. But then, way up ahead, they saw it. An eerie teal glow. Now, any light is welcome after that long in the dark, but deep in the earth, light can mean hope, or it can mean a new kind of horror. So, of course, they braced for the worst. Weapons out, spells whispered, all eyes fixed on that glow. But what they found? It wasn't some monster. It was this moment of just breathtaking, totally unexpected beauty. Turns out, the darkness wasn't hiding a threat at all. It was hiding a cavern of living stars. So they followed this light, and the passage just opened up into this enormous cavern. At its center was this subterranean lake that stretched nearly a mile in every direction. The ceiling was so high up you couldn't even see it. It was like a whole world unto itself, right there beneath the mountain. Well, their curiosity pretty quickly turned to caution. They wanted to see how deep this thing was. So first attempt, they drop in a glowing vial and they see little fish scattering away from the light. Okay, cool. But the second attempt, that revealed something else. Something massive, unseen, stirring the mud way, way down in the deep. And yeah, their fears were confirmed. The sorceress, Calypso, decided to do a quick dive. She felt it herself. They were definitely not alone in that water. This beautiful lake was home to some huge, mysterious creature, and they wisely decided, you know what? Some mysteries are better left unsolved. So, leaving the giant lake monster behind, the company ran into a new problem. Which way to go? There were all these different rivers and tunnels branching off. They needed a clue, any kind of sign to point them in the right direction. And they found one. It was so simple, just a faint draft of air. But that little clue told them that one of the tunnels led to a much bigger, more open space. So they followed that feeling, taking a rocky path, and pretty soon the air started to get warm and really thick with steam. What they found was another one of these incredible, unexpected sanctuaries. A whole cavern full of natural hot springs. I mean, after days of being cold and in constant danger, this was just an unbelievable gift. And the simplest thing, these tiny little shrimp nibbling at their feet, it just broke all the tension. And for the first time in what felt like forever, the cavern was filled with real, genuine laughter. So they continued on, and soon enough, they saw a very clear sign of other people. A pretty sturdy-looking rope bridge, only a few months old, stretching across this massive chasm. But honestly, it wasn't the bridge itself that really grabbed their attention. It was what was on the other side. Tied there were two flags, looking so out of place in all this darkness. One was from the Crystal Kingdom, the other from the Amber Druid Circle. This was a clear message, right? A sign that people had been through here recently. But for one person in the group, it was way more personal. For the adventurer, Cedric, this wasn't just some clue. It was a message meant for him. He could smell it. His father had passed this way, leaving a sign he knew his son would find. And in that one moment, all the uncertainty they'd been feeling just vanished. It was replaced by this single, powerful purpose. So, with all this new energy, they hurried on. Cedric was in the lead now, following his father's trail. But of course, their newfound purpose led them straight into their next huge problem. In an absolute heart-stopping moment, the floor just gave way. Only Cedric's lightning-fast reflexes saved him from falling into this deep, web-choked shaft that spiraled down into who knows what. They had walked right into a perfectly hidden trap. So they tried to see what was down there by tossing in a torch, and that turned out to be a really, really bad idea. The webs just erupted in flames, and then this living tide of thousands upon thousands of spiders
poured up out of the pit. They were forced into this desperate fight for their lives that ended with this brilliant, crazy plan, blowing up a lantern to cause a cave-in, sealing the whole swarm under tons of rock.
The chaos was over just as fast as it began. Only one spider managed to scramble out from the rubble, and it was immediately and very enthusiastically eaten by Ord, the group's little reptilian buddy. A pretty grim but, effective way to end that threat.
After the crazy energy of that fight, this deep quiet fell over the company. They kept moving, and the tunnel ahead started to get narrower, leading them away from all that chaos and toward their final discovery of the day. And the tunnel finally opened into a chamber that was unlike anything they had ever seen. When they looked up, through this crack in what was basically the stone roof of the world, they saw something that should have been completely impossible. Stars. After days, maybe even longer, trapped in that oppressive, total darkness, they could see the heavens again. The feeling of relief, of just hope, it must have been absolutely overwhelming. The chamber itself was this perfect, peaceful sanctuary. Deep inside the mountain, there was a still pond that was just mirroring all the constellations from above. And here, after surviving all those horrors and finding a new purpose, the company finally made camp. I mean, they had traveled so far, not just through miles of rock, but from being totally lost to having this crystal clear purpose. They had found their path. And now, resting in this place of impossible beauty, it really makes you wonder, what new challenges and what new discoveries are waiting for them on the next part of their journey?